Hi, I'm Ryen Scheibner from Shop 86, and today I'll be doing a little demonstration on synthesizers. For today, it's going to be the Microbrute analog synth made by Arturia. It was my very first synth, and it really started the addiction that I have to find out how these work internally and how the external knobs correlate with what's happening in the inside of the machine. And they're a lot of fun, and for this synth, it's a really good starter one for about $100. It's pretty cheap for getting into the hobby. So yeah, let's take a look. Alright, let's go over the layout of the Microbrute. So there's two main portions. There is the keyboard, which is a 25 key keyboard that spans over 2 octaves, which just isn't something that you would see on every single synth at all, whether the octaves or even the keyboard itself. There's a limitless amount of different combinations that you can have in a synth, and a lot of them are just buttons themselves called the soundboard. And then for the second part with the knobs, first we have the oscillators, which control the frequency or the voltage that runs inside of the machine itself. So this is the bass sound of the Microbrute. Very emotionless, very just kind of robotic beep right in your face. But using the oscillator, we can change that. So this is the knob for making a square wave, which just makes the voltage just literally turn into rectangles. And as you can see, that drastically changed it. It's a lot more harsh. After that, we have a couple more oscillator knobs that we can adjust, such as the 45 degree. Also harsh, but it has a kind of smoothness to it. And then also the peak, which kind of rounds things out. After that, we can move on to the envelope tab. So the envelope tab pretty much just smooths out the different edges of the voltage in different ways. So we can start off with the attack. So with the attack up, we can see that it ramps up. And that's only the beginning of the voltage. Each one correlates with the different portions of the voltage. So attack is going to be the very beginning, decay is the second quarter of it, sustains the third quarter, and the release is the final. So with all those combined, and I'm not touching a key anymore, but because of the release was higher, then it prolonged the sound. Alright, so after that, we have a pitch knob, which just correlates with the sound going higher pitch and lower pitch. So I can start off with this, it's a typical C note. And with it, as I'm playing, if I go up, it goes up an entire octave. And the same thing for going down an octave. And then we also have a mod wheel, and the mod wheel, depending on how these are configured, changes different patches. So right now I have it attached to a sub, so it's going to get a little grungier. It's probably the best word I can find for that. Just changes that. The Microbrute also comes with this super cool little addition called a sequencer, and what you do is you can input a pattern that you would like it to play, and you can message with the beats per minute that comes, or the rate that pattern that you inputted comes out. So like, for example, if I hit it in record mode and I just do a typical up the scale, and then I go up to the play and I start that, and then I can adjust the BPM. And then the cool thing with analog synthesizers is that you can mess around with every single knob during the process of doing something else. So I could have the sequencer going while changing the oscillator, which will change the overtone. So it's pretty neat. There's a couple other things that this device does, such as an LFO, and it pretty much just fluctuates the wave currency in a specific pattern that I put it to. So if I crank the LFO up and I keep my sequencer on with that, you can see that the currency itself is getting disturbed and that it gets pretty much distorted. And yeah, so that's pretty much the base of the Microbrute. Everything else is pretty much just fine-tuning knobs. And it's a lot of fun. Starting at $100 is an awesome way to get introduced into this hobby. It's a blast. I've been playing mine for about 4 years now, and
I still don't get tired of it.
So thanks for watching the video. We went over the basics of what the Microbrute is, the analog synth, the different portions of it, such as the keyboard, the LFO, the oscillators, and the super cool addition to the Microbrute, which is the sequencer. So thanks for watching.